Again, as I said many times, I will never understand the American mind when it comes to not wanting to give healthcare to your people, just to take it away. The very idea of the people getting healthcare, free healthcare, affordable healthcare, seems to just really stick in the craw of a lot of people in America, just holding on to vestiges of the past and just not knowing the definitions or reasonings behind things, calling everything socialist, calling everything communist. It's just, listen, there's a better way to live our lives. There's a better way that the American people can have lives. And healthcare is just one of those things, for God's sakes. Give it to your people. This big, beautiful nightmare of a bill has gone through the House and is going to the Senate. And the Senate's where all the real crazy hardliners are. And I read an article last night that the conservatives have enough people to hold this bill up. And at first when I read that, I was like, oh, good. You know, people are seeing sanity. People are seeing reason here, that maybe we shouldn't cut millions of people's health care. Maybe we shouldn't empty food banks and end food assistance for the poorest people in this country. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe there's still good people up there. No, absolutely not. They actually use the terms in describing this bill that cuts over $1 trillion from food assistance and Medicare from the most vulnerable people in this country. They said that it just doesn't even, it's puny, right? It doesn't even take cuts seriously. You know, we got to really ramp up the cuts here. So that's what they mean by holding it up, right? The $1 trillion taken away from Medicare and food assistance, that's not enough. We just got to gut everything, all the spending. At the same time, let's give tax cuts to the richest people. We'll give some tax cuts to the normal American people. Why not? They don't make anything. But the real bucks, right? The real bucks, we got to give that to the rich people. Now, how does this affect normal people? Oh yeah, because it causes inflation. If it wasn't going to cause inflation, then why would they bake into the bill raising the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars even more? No, the money printers will continue to go burr, and the money will be worth less, and the cost of everything will continue to go up because we have tariffs, because we have inflation. And your wages, are they going to go up? No. In fact, the argument is wages don't need to go up now because you're not getting taxed as much. This is a Band-Aid. This is a Band-Aid, but stagflation is here. The recession is here. We're just masking it, right? This is all smoke and mirrors at this point. It's smoke and mirrors that damage the American people, damage the American people's lives. We take away your Medicare. We take away your ability to have affordable housing. If you can't afford your rent, we're going to take away your rental assistance. And if you can't afford to feed your kids, guess what? We're taking away your food assistance too. But guess what? Rich people, nah, they're fine. They're getting tax cuts. They're making so much money. They're filthy rich. And you're just stinking scum. That's all it is. Stinking scum. No one cares about you. Not the American government. Not these people that were voted into office who said that they have your best interest in mind. No. It's smoke and mirrors is all it is. There is no compassion in these people. Who elects these people? Honestly, who puts people in charge that says, you know what? All these people are freeloaders. We can't be giving them health care anymore. Well, how much is health care? Because it's pretty affordable in other countries. Maybe they can just pay it. No. It'll put you in ruinous debt for the rest of your life for a minor operation. Well, that doesn't seem very fair, does it? I mean, in Europe, it'd just be like a couple $100, or in some places it wouldn't cost anything. Yeah, but those are freeloading communist countries, and we don't want to be like that at all. Listen, there's an argument to be made for privatization. Yeah, sure. Why not? I get that. But at the same time, some things are worth spending money on. And I will die on that hill that healthcare is one of those. All right? I'm someone who came from a broken home. I'm someone who didn't have anything growing up. And I had government assistance healthcare. Food was hard to come by sometimes. Guess what? Food banks were there. Food stamps were there. Sometimes we needed that. Sometimes the vicissitudes of life can be quite cruel, and you don't know where you're going to be. And you need help. You just need a handout. That's all it is. It's really all it comes down to. And you hope that the government, the nation, that you've been paying into your entire life, you blood, sweat, and tears, or you've served your country maybe, that they'd be there for you. That they'd be there for you when you're at your worst. But no, it's the complete opposite. They're only going to be there for you if you're at your best, if you're the maximum producer. In fact, the richer you are, the more the government's going to be there for you. The poorer you are, the more broken you are, the harder time you're having, the less they're going to be there for you. It should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. And I feel like it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. No, this isn't Lenin. Calm down. It's not that hard to understand that this is what a government's responsibility is. The people who want small government are always saying, well, we need a massive military. We need the biggest, strongest military in the planet. And we need a big enough government to run that, which is a massive government to run a massive military, right? This thing isn't ran by the people. The entire logistic side that supports the military, the bureaucratic side that supports the military, it's massive unto itself. But is that where we're going to put all of our eggs? Like, what's the point of having the greatest military on the planet if the people are starving, if the people can't get jobs, if the people can't stay in their homes, they can't have a roof over their head, if the people can't go to a doctor? What's the point of protecting all of this? There is no point. It's to protect wealth and not your wealth. This government isn't for us. This administration isn't for us. This system isn't for us. And I'm nervous that in them rewriting this bill, it's only going to become more austere. It's only going to become more psychotic and depraved. Because the zealousness of the supporters, the zealousness of these people in charge who fear of upsetting their leader. And even, listen, I understand the big guy came out and said, don't hurt Medicare. But if you're taking $1 trillion at least away from these support systems, yeah, guess what? They're hurting people. They're still taking away millions in healthcare. You're like, well, these people are able-bodied, they should be on there. Who's to say that? Like I said, some people are just in a bad way, and there should be a way out for some people. There should be some kind of support. It should be there. And just taken away like that. To whose benefit does this serve? Like I said, as always, the wealthy and the government. Because that's where all this money goes to. Like I said, this is just going to cause inflation. And the wealthy are going to be protected and the poor will have to pay for it, as always. And this is meant to keep us in this just abject, submissive position where we keep begging the same people to help us out, the same people to change. Dude, America's done. This country's dead. This country's dead, and there's no reason to save it anymore. There's no reason to support these people anymore. There's no reason to hope for change from these people. Like I said, there's a couple people out there. There's a couple good politicians that really are trying to fix things. Never work. It'll never work. The kind of zealousness and radicalness just isn't there. And it's not going to get there because the American people are so freaking lazy that they'll never take this country back. Never. Their lives will go to shit, and you know what? The government will throw them a box of Twinkies and they'll shut their freaking mouths. That's all it is. That's all it takes. Smoke and mirrors. That's all this is. Let's just hope that we can still travel at some point in the near future, because I'm guessing that tourism to Mexico and Canada for people who are needing to get medicine, because the price of medicine is going to go up because of the tariffs in the EU, or access to any kind of healthcare, because it's affordable in Mexico and it's affordable in Canada, but it'll put you in a life worth of debt, but it'll put you in lifelong debt in America. You know, there's going to be a lot more travel to these places. Like I said, just go live there. You think you can't have a good life in Mexico? What, you're like, ooh, the cartel violence. Yeah, that's the thing. Stay away from the border. Mexico is a giant country. It's huge. And it's beautiful. The people are amazing. Food is spectacular. They actually have culture. Family matters. Mexico, in a lot of ways, much better than America. Canada's Canada. Canada's amazing. My only problem with Canada is that it's cold. Winter sucks. Beautiful in the summer. Other than that, no. But honestly, it's the only way that a lot of Americans are going to be able to get any kind of health care is to go to different countries now. Is that the goal? Is that what we're supposed to do? Is that worth the cost? What, are you going to put your 80-year-old grandma on a plane, kick her down to Tijuana so she can get some kind of surgery done? Who's this good for? Who's this good for? And how long before this affects the wrong kind of people? Listen, they want to cut 80,000 personnel from the VA, right? And I thought that this would be met with a lot more resistance from the veteran community, if I'm being completely honest, because veterans' rights were hard fought. And the VA, for all its problems, offers care for millions of veterans, right? The most patriotic Americans, those who actually sacrificed this country, or for the corporations that run this country. You know, you think that you owe them a debt, but at the same time, you're like, we're just gonna cut their care. We'll push it over to Medicare. Oh, we're gonna slash Medicare too? Yeah. Dude, no one cares. No one is willing to stand up and fight. No one. You know, no one's willing to do anything more than post something on Facebook or vote for the same people who don't change things. But I guess that's the way that it is, that even if you voted for someone who genuinely wants change, right? Someone who would actually stop this bill. If there is an R next to their name, guess what? In the end, they're going to vote for it. And that's all this is. I just feel bad more than anything else. Listen, I'll have health care. I'll go somewhere else. I understand that. I'm fortunate enough to do that. And there's a lot of people that end up just kind of leaving this country at this point because the problems that living here brings far outweigh the benefits of living here. Maybe not at this very point, but oh yes, pretty soon, because things are getting worse and worse and worse. But I feel horrible for the millions of people who are in food insecurity, who have serious medical problems that rely on Medicare and Medicaid, who are about to lose their coverage, lose their food assistance, those who use Section 8 housing, about to lose their housing because they're not working enough in a time where there's no jobs, because tariffs and layoffs have absolutely wrecked the job market. What are the people supposed to do? They can't do anything. So it is what it is. I guess we're all just kind of screwed now. But big, beautiful nightmare. That bill hopefully doesn't ever see the light of day. But listen, these people are jackals and they're going to push it through, and the people are going to suffer because we're meant to suffer. So just keep going to work, keep producing profit, keep paying taxes. Pay the tariffs, pay the extra tax, get ready for inflation. Are you worried? Yeah, you should be. Doesn't matter. No one cares. No one cares about you. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone. You're still here. Hey, like and subscribe, become a member, all that stuff. Oh man, this stuff is dark. This stuff is dark, and you just want it to be a nice, boring day. Listen, you want the government to do nothing. You want the government to do nothing. You want it to be boring. You want to elect people and never hear their freaking name on the news ever again because just nothing is changing. Just keep life normal and stable for once in our freaking lifetime. Just keep life normal and stable. That's all the American wants, some kind of stability, not this constant roller coaster of what ifs. Am I going to have health care? Am I going to be able to afford to eat? Is Walmart closing down? Is my cholesterol too high because all I can afford is highly processed foods? Any kind of stability would be so welcome in America. But no, we don't want that. We like the carnival. We like the freaking ride, man. We want to go up and down on this thing. And eventually we're just going to go down. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a good one.